Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and today I'm a little bit different and talk about a movie that I went and saw this Friday with my dad and my two brothers at the movie theater, and that movie would have been Rambo: Last Blood. So, my dad he doesn't like to go to many movies. Like he can wait for them to come out out on disc or out on digital usually. But for this one, he absolutely wanted to go see this in theaters. And, he's not big on the midnight showings, but he loves Rambo. So we ended up going to see it Friday night. And I wanted to put one out that night, but I was pretty dang tired. And Saturday and Sunday, I had to, help my grandparents, fix their pool. So I was pretty busy all weekend, and I tried to get a couple comic reviews out. But I really wanted to do this review, so I've had it sitting in my head a little bit, watched a couple reviews, seeing what everyone's thinking of it, and for the most part, the real YouTubers reviews, they had it right on the money with how good this movie is. It's a little bit slow at times. It's a lot more character development and trying to show you how much Rambo loves his niece, and him being an uncle. It's a little bit of a different view of Rambo, which I liked. I heard that this movie actually was supposed to maybe be before Rambo 4, so that would have worked out too. What he did works out well too as well, but I, for the most part, I really enjoyed this. My dad, he loved it. It's probably number 3, I would say, in my book. I'd go with, honestly, I'd probably say Rambo 4 first, and then Rambo, the original Rambo, and then this one. But it was still very good. These people, this girl, his niece wants to find out who her real father is, and this girl who seems real shady once you first meet her, like the whole time she just seems so shady. She ends up tracking down her dad for her, and Rambo doesn't want her to go. He says, give yourself some years to grow up, and then do it later. But please don't go. The grandma or the aunt, they really never pick up, like, kind of fully say who she is to Rambo. They say that the girl is, obviously he's her uncle, but you really don't know if there's actually a blood relation, or if, like what I thought. Me and my dad figured out that maybe that they were ranch handlers. They helped out at the ranch, and basically at those times, people that help out at your ranch, at those big ranches, they probably helped out Rambo's father, and they probably were living there, and he must have just grown to like him, because he says to the father when he goes to Mexico looking for her after she hasn't come back and they can't get a hold of her, that he should have broke his neck 10 years ago. So he definitely knows him. So I'm thinking that the wife, the mother and the father, they both were handlers there, and the mother ends up dying, the father ends up splitting a few years before she dies, and then it's left for the aunt or the grandmother. I'm thinking she's the grandmother, to handle it, and Rambo takes in, or comes in and is like basically more of a father. He looks at her like his daughter. She might call him Uncle John, but he looks at her as his daughter, and like he feels like he helped raise her, and that is one of his greatest accomplishments in life, is raising her. But once she gets to Mexico, she totally gets rejected by her father. He is a complete asshole. He tells her why he left, and he completely tells her straight up, like, I couldn't stand your mother, and I couldn't stand my life, and I didn't ever love you. Like, basically was completely heartless. It was crazy. And she ends up going in tears, and she bounces. goes back with her friend, who is completely like, just totally seems like she's scheming somehow. She's a total weirdo, and she is kind of an asshole. But for the most part, then she wants to go home, but the girl somehow is like, no, I'm not gonna let you drive. I'm not gonna let you drive in this condition. Like, nah, she actually cares. Like, when you totally can tell something's up. She's like, we're gonna go out to party, and then basically, she meets some guy, and then basically he ends up being, mixed. He's like a cartel leader, I'm thinking, or he's one of these cartel workers, and basically, they kidnap her and they put her in this like house filled with, all these other girls that are basically been kidnapped, and they're being like fed, like given drugs on a daily basis, and I'm pretty sure that it's like a brothel, and these men just like basically take advantage of these women. It is crazy, and stuff like that really happens, man. So Sylvester Stallone does a good job at showing like the darkness in humanity, because people don't think about that, man, but shit like that is real. Shit like that happens, man, to girls every day. These girls get kidnapped and taken away from their families. But then Rambo's out seeking her because they can't get a hold of her. He starts tracking down where she went. He gets the address of the girl and the father. I think he goes to the father first because he thinks that that's where she would be first, if anything. Then he says, like I said, he should have broke his fucking neck. And I love that scene too. Like anything Rambo does, you just hear like I was like in the third row, so I could really hear the speakers, but it was just like when he smashes that door, you just hear boom. I loved it, man, and it was way better than just my little hand motion thing. But I really enjoyed it. I definitely still like 4 better, but it was really good. It's the first Rambo movie I probably have seen in theater. I don't think I saw 4 in theaters, but so that he goes to the friend, and then off top he knows this bitch is hiding something, because she's the one that actually called trying to cover her tracks, but she acts like she calls to help, like saying, oh, I'm worried about her, but really she knows everything that happened. She might have been, I'm pretty sure that she probably even called the cartel and might even got paid to be like, hey, yo, you could take this girl, she'll be an easy target. Who knows, you know what I mean? They never really fully explain that. But she definitely knows the dude, and he straight sees through that and says, you were trying to cover your tracks, and it's like, you don't tell me in 3 seconds I'm gonna blow your head off. And she straight up takes him to where this cartel member would be. But she does, and he gets the guy, and it's a gruesome scene. And basically, as soon, he must be one of the, he's not the head guy, but he's like one of the guy he's the guy, I'm guessing, that recruits these women. So, but he goes to he finds out where the whole squad is at, the whole cartel, with the 2 big guys, and they're actually, I forget the brothers, they're like 2 brothers, I should have looked that up, but they're 2 like brother cartel members, and they run their little squad. And basically Rambo goes up in there, and he gets found out because this apartment complex is being like guarded by a bunch of cartel members with guns, and they literally surround him, probably like 50 to 100 guys, and they beat the shit out of him, and basically almost leave him for dead. But one of the brothers is like, I'm gonna let you live, and you're gonna know that we have this girl, or some shit. And the other brother's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, don't do that. But there was this girl at the bar that's like a publisher, and she like followed Rambo when he saw that he was tracking that first guy that took the girl. And she ends up helping Rambo, and basically lets him crash at his house and to heal while he's basically like healing for 4 days, sleeping. And then finds out that she was a publisher, that her sister was taken by the cartel and she was killed, because I think they get fed so many drugs that a bunch of them end up dying, overdosing. It's so messed up. But he heals, and then she helps him find where they're keeping them, and he straight is dude, brutal scene. Runs up in this house with a hammer, breaking heads, cracking skulls, and it was crazy. Gets the girl, and she's at this point that he's been healed. She's gotten that was a big thing I missed. The guy said, "You're gonna live with this," and gives Rambo a scar on his face, and he's like, "I'm gonna give the girl one too, and she's gonna feel the pain for you coming here today." So she's gonna get punished for him coming there to save her, and she gets a scar too. And then they start feeding her drugs like crazy, shooting her up with like heroin. I'm guessing they don't really ever say, but once he gets her, she is drugged out. And she's been given drugs like crazy, shots, all needle shots all in her arms. It is bad. And he saves her. And on the drive home, she, as he's telling her how much she means to him and how raising her was the greatest joy in his life, and that she was a daughter to him. That I look at that, I feel like I was a father to you, and just saying, basically, giving his heart to her. And she literally dies, and while he's holding her hand, she dies. And they try to make it moving. It definitely was very sad, but it wasn't as moving as it should have been. I feel like it could have been a little bit more like hitting you, but in a way I feel like it had to happen for the movie to go where it needed to go. But it was definitely, it was messed up, man. And man, so he drives home, and the grandmother aunt is like running right out the door, and he's like, wait, and he breaks it down, tells her, and she's like, no, I gotta see. And she goes and looks, and they have the funeral. She's buried at his house, and he tells her that she needs to go stay at her sister's. And that he's gonna move on, but he knows that the cartel is coming for him. Well, actually, right after that, he tells her to leave, but he goes and seeks out the publisher one more time and asks for help to where one of the brothers will be, or one of the other members. I don't think it's not one of the brothers. No, it is the one brother. Because after they take the girl, he's pissed as hell at the other brother that let him go. And then basically Rambo goes and cuts the damn head off the one brother that wanted to kill him from the start, and lets the one that let him live. So he ends up and then he throws the damn head out the window, so he knows that it's somebody like that's from America, because he let it like on his way home. He throws the head out the window. It is savage, dude. So then he tells the grandmother to head to her sister's, and he starts getting Macaulay Culkin on us and planting all these traps. Which, the biggest thing, I don't know, I shouldn't even say Macaulay Culkin, because Rambo was setting traps way before Macaulay Culkin. The first Rambo came out before, and he was doing all that shit back then. So really, Home Alone stole from Rambo. They just put Rambo, they just gave, they're like, let's do Rambo, but with a kid, probably, you know what I mean? But still, Home Alone is my shit. And Rambo is, I hate when people compare that, like, oh, they stole from this. No, Rambo was doing this shit before and setting traps. So, he gets the whole house trapped up, and they're coming for him. And man, it is insane. I loved it. The only thing I felt that some of the guys were taken out too quickly. He had all these traps, so, nothing, like, of course they would die right off top from all these, wounds that are enforced to them. But I just thought that, he took out the whole army so quick and so easy. But, Rambo is a beast. I would have liked to see a little bit more, like, hand-to-hand combat with Rambo, maybe. That might have been it. But it just felt like maybe Rambo had to cut it, or Sylvester Stallone had to maybe cut a few scenes or something to make it shorter. Who knows, man? maybe he'll have like a unrated director's cut or something. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. You know, it was a fun experience to go to the movies with, you know, just my dad and see this, because I haven't gone and seen a movie with just my dad since probably Fury, actually, and that was a rare one going to see that too. But before Fury, I didn't see a movie with my dad probably since Blade 2. Me and him saw the first two Blades in theater when I was a kid, but it's like, man, you know, it was nice to go see that with my dad. And my two brothers and my sister actually came. You know, they weren't big on it, but they wanted to come see it with my dad because my mom was working that night. But it was really fun. You know, definitely third in my book. But as I got to sit on it, I really enjoyed it. You know, it was a good movie, and you know, I don't think the critic hate was deserved at all. You know, those people were just stupid, like talking like, oh, too much action, too much violence. It's like, do you know what movie you just went to go see? It's Rambo. Yeah, he's gonna be cracking heads and blowing heads off and shit. But yeah, you know, let me know what you guys thought about this. I won't be doing too many movies like this. This was just a special occasion since, you know, I got to go see this one with my dad. And you know, there was a lot of hype around this movie, and I enjoyed it. Mostly though, my channel will probably be like blockbuster movies if I do any more movie reviews, and Marvel movies, DC movies. I'm definitely doing Joker on the review, and like Titans, DC channel, DC like TV shows, Marvel shows, anything I'm, you know, watching. But well, I think that deserves a review. But yeah, be on the lookout, because I'm also doing a lot of comic reviews every day. But yeah, please, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, and be on the lookout for a lot more content coming every day. Alright guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.